3 more rounds to go in the 2025 Formula One World Championship. Piastri on pole, Leclerc alongside him. It's lights out, and away we go here in Shanghai. Piastri gets away well, but so does Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's around the outside, and Charles Leclerc is going to take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. What a start there from Charles Leclerc, knowing he has to get his season turned around, and that's what he's been doing. He did it last week, can he do it again here in Shanghai? But it's Leclerc that leads from Piastri. Then how about Liam Lawson for the Racing Bulls? And then Lando Norris, Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, Isaac Hadjar, Pierre Gasly, George Russell, and Nico Hulkenberg completing your top 10. As you saw, Piastri try to make a move, and he backed right out because he knew it was going to cause a collision, probably a high-speed crash for the Ferrari. So now, as things start to settle out, it's Hulkenberg that's P10, then George Russell P9, and George Russell is ahead of his teammate in the World Championship as Oscar Piastri runs wide. And that allows Liam Lawson to move into second place as Charles Leclerc leads from now Liam Lawson. And how about this? Red Bull continue to struggle. P13 and P number 18 for the team. And I want to, give props to Aston Martin last week. They were able to pick up the points since the Hungarian Grand Prix, but now Oscar Piastri is going to now take the lead from Charles Leclerc. That now puts Leclerc down to second place, but if Charles Leclerc can hang on to second place, it would now allow him to be further and further ahead of it would now pull him even closer to P3 in the Drivers' Championship and even closer to his teammate of Lewis Hamilton. So now, what can Charles Leclerc do? Can he hang on? Can he just hang off Liam Lawson for the final 2 more laps? Lawson has not been able to close in, but Oscar Piastri has now been able to extend his race lead to about 0.82 seconds clear of Charles Leclerc. But Lando Norris started third, has fallen down to fifth, and as things stand at the moment, Oscar Piastri would regain the lead in the Drivers' Championship and extend and put that lead to 10 points ahead of his teammate going into the final 3 races as we go into Austin, Texas next week, then Brazil, and then to end the race, to end the season finale in Las Vegas. So what can Piastri hang on in the final 2 more laps of this Grand Prix? Now the final lap is out here in China, but Aston Martin now 14th and 20th, able to get their first points since the Hungarian Grand Prix, but they will now lose P6 to the Racing Bulls as they have 2 cars in the top 10, and Ferrari extend their second place over Mercedes even further. But can they hang on? They're the only team now that hasn't won. Mercedes and Red Bull with George Russell and Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda won the Hungarian Grand Prix, was the first team to end McLaren's dominance. Then it was Mercedes of George Russell to end the McLaren dominance. Can now Ferrari end McLaren's dominance this time? But so far it doesn't look like it. They're the only team now on this grid that hasn't beaten McLaren. Red Bull and Mercedes has, but can Ferrari do it next week? Remember, that was their last win. Their last win was Charles Leclerc, and Ferrari's last win was Texas of last year. But can they do it next week? But it's going to be Oscar Piastri. He's going to regain the lead in the Drivers' Championship. He's going to take a 10-point lead into Texas. Oscar Piastri wins the Chinese Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc on second place. Liam Lawson P3. It's now a 10-point lead for Oscar Piastri of his team of Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc on the podium. He closes in even closer and closer to P3, but Max Verstappen still hangs on to it, and so does Lewis Hamilton. But don't count out Charles Leclerc just yet as he's closing and closing. But Ferrari continue to pull away from Mercedes and Red Bull, and Racing Bulls take P6, and we'll see you in Texas.